Welcome, everybody. It's your girl, Delores, just the pink girl in my pink world, here on every social platform with my good brother, J News. J News, you got something to tell the good people?
Welcome back, folks. We're back after a 1 week hiatus, as we are going to get into the last 2 weeks of what was in pro wrestling. We'll touch on a couple of things here and there from the previous week, and then dive into what happened this past week. So strap in and get on with us.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, before we start, like I mentioned before we left, we have awarenesses that'll be up in the corner. This month there are multiple ones, so this is the first one. This is for lung cancer awareness. For those who haven't heard, my mom not too long ago, towards the beginning of last year, was diagnosed with lung cancer awareness. Luckily, with new treatment, 3 sessions, and she was able to ring the bell and hasn't had a problem since then. So yay. So I always want to celebrate things that are personal to especially me or J News, so we can make people aware and kind of prevent some of this heartache and the suffering that some people have to go through. So, ladies and gentlemen, Hit It Up Studio podcast background. It never wants to add us over there, J News. And I'm going to take the banner. Well, I'll leave the banner in there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a review. Now, listen, we're going to review from last week, and we're going to review from this week. Last week and the week before last. We won't be getting too in-depth about the week we missed, but we will get in-depth about this current week, okay? So, I'm going to start off with WWE, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to start off with Raw. Raw was on 1693 on the 3rd. That was the week we missed. The Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez defeated Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquera. Penta defeated El Grande Americano. The Kabuki Warriors defeated Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. For the WWE World Tag Team title match, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defeated the Judgment Day. We had CM Punk and Jey Uso versus the Vision in a double countout. Now on to this current session. Ladies and gentlemen, on 1694 on the 10th, which is on Netflix, we had the WWE Intercontinental title match where John Cena defeated Dominic Mysterio. Dom Mysterio for a title change. We had the Last Time Is Now tournament first round match where Rusev defeated Damian Priest. We had for the WWE Women's World title match, Stephanie Vaquera defeat Raquel Rodriguez. For the Last Time Is Now first tournament first round match, we had Sheamus defeat Shinsuke Nakamura. And for the WWE Women's Tag Team title match, the Kabuki Warriors defeated Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair to win the title. J News, did you see any of this, and what did you think?
Yeah, so Raw this week was eventful, to say the least. Lots of different things going on. John Cena winning that IC title was definitely something that was surprising. With the Stephanie Vaquera versus Raquel Rodriguez match ended up with Stephanie winning, even though after the fact Nikki Bella turned on Stephanie Vaquera, so that was happening on Raw there. Sheamus and Shinsuke was a hard-hitting match there. And then something I was also title change I also was not expecting was Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair losing their WWE Women's Tag Team Championships to the Kabuki Warriors on a Raw. Specifically, not that they wouldn't lose them overall, but just here on Raw. So that was surprising to me. Interesting change of events and change of titles there on Raw. I guess they're just trying to change things up. and get things going into the holiday season and into Royal Rumble season, and obviously for Survivor Series that's coming.
Yes. I was shocked too by the title change. I was like, Alexa and Charlotte been doing good. Yep. This is what you all are doing? Okay, well, we'll see. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go way back in the playback. And we're going to go on to NXT, ladies and gentlemen. We had NXT 810 on the 4th on the CW, where Fatal Influence defeated Lola Vice and the culling of Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley. We had the non-title match where El Grande Americano defeated Josh Briggs. We had for the WWE Women's Speed Title Tournament semifinal match, Zarya defeating Ren Sinclair. And we had Kalani Jordan defeating Tyra May Steele. Jordan Evans and Shaquan Sugars. Von Evans defeated Shaquan Sugars. Sorry, I'm tongue-tied today. Shaquan Sugars. That was a good match until they messed it up. Ladies and gentlemen, we have this week, which is 8/11, on the 11th on the CW. For the WWE Speed title match, we had Jessica Troy defeat El Grande Americano in the title change. We had Thea Hale defeat Alba Fire. We had for the WWE Women's Speed Tournament semifinal match, Fallon Henley defeating Skylar Ray. Excuse me. We had Tavian Heights defeat Josh Briggs. And for the WWE NXT Last Man Standing match, Ricky Saints defeated Trick Williams. J News, did you see this week, and what did you think of it?
I think that what they have started to do over the last 2 weeks on NXT TV with Thea Hale and Joe Hendry has been fun and funny, and it's giving Thea something to do on TV. She's one of the long-standing members of the NXT women's roster. She's been there for quite a while. She's been there since before 2.0. So I'm glad to see her back and doing something substantial, especially now that Joe Hendry is an official part of the WWE roster. So that goes hand in hand there. The speed title stuff I didn't care for much here at the end of the day. Either or match being Americano losing his titles to Jasper Troy, or Fallon Henley winning her speed tournament match against Skylar Gray, where basically the speed title tournament thing is leading towards Zarya versus Fallon Henley in their match. I would imagine that Zarya probably wins and she finally turns on Sol Ruka, because they've been teasing on that for weeks and months on end. So we'll see how that all plays on TV. Travion Heights against Josh Briggs again. Just something I wasn't necessarily interested in. And the last man standing match between Trick Williams and Ricky Saints actually went off very well. It's the best I've seen Trick Williams look in a long time. It was probably the most violent match I've seen on NXT TV in recent memory. So I got to give him that. And then we can't end the episode without mentioning the fact that the Rula Obafemi returned post-match, and he made his appearance and his presence felt to Ricky Saints, letting him know that he's coming back after that NXT championship. So there was that on NXT TV this week. I think you're muted there, Delores.
Find the mute button again. I like this show overall, and I think this was better than some of the shows that they've had in the past few weeks, because I've been like, whoa. Last week was good. This week was even a little bit better. But I was like, past few weeks, I was like, where are we going? What is this doing? But at least I think I see a little bit of, progress and a little bit of storyline. So I'm happy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back to the back. And me and J News, we're going to go over to SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. SmackDown the week before was on the 7th on USA Network. It was 1368. We have for the WWE United States title match, Ilya Dragunov defeating Johnny Gargano. We had Nia Jax defeating Charlotte Flair. We have for the WWE Women's United States title match, Chelsea Green defeating Julia for the title. We had Tala Tonga. Yes, that's how they write it down. This is crazy. Defeat Ray Phoenix. We had for a non-title match, Aleister Black and Cody Rhodes in a no contest. On to this week's matches. It was 1369 on the 14th on USA Network. We had the last time is now tournament first round match. Jey Uso defeated The Miz. For the WWE United States title match, we had Ilya Dragunov defeat Axiom. We have for the last time is now tournament first round match, LA Knight defeating debuting Zack Ryder again. We had a non-title match where Jade Cargill defeated B-Fab. For the undisputed WWE title, Cody Rhodes and Bronson Reed ended in a DQ. Jay News, did you see this and what did you think about
it? Yeah, I think for just to let folks know what my perspective has been on SmackDown in recent weeks. I really watched SmackDown for the Ilya Dragunov match, for the WWE United States title matches. Because of the work rate. I'm more of a work rate fan than I am a storyline person nowadays, because storylines in professional wrestling have all been either convoluted, done to an nth degree, and redone. There's nothing new under the sun. If stuff interests me, I'll stick with it. And if not, I'm just watching to see if matches are good or not. So the Ilya matches are really why I've watched SmackDown. Everything else that happened on SmackDown, the Jey Uso thing versus The Miz for the John Cena tournament, him winning over The Miz, sure. I don't necessarily know where they're going with the whole John Cena tournament thing. And I, for one, speaking for myself, do not care because this John Cena retirement run has not been it for me. It was cool to see Matt Cardona, a.k.a. Zack Ryder, back in the WWE ring. Up against LA Knight. I got to see the entire match, and I will say this, for a WWE style match, LA Knight and Zack Ryder went to town. I thought the match was terrific. Great showing for both guys, and I think people should go out of their way to watch it because it was a really fun match, well put together, and it had its in-ring story beats, and obviously with Zack Ryder coming back for the first time in 5 years, it made for some interesting wrestling drama. Jade Cargill versus B-Fab, I think for those of y'all who watch our podcast on a regular basis know how I feel about Jade Cargill. This didn't move the needle for me. Post-match, for all intents and purposes, she got in Michin, aka Mia Yim's face, because she came out to look after B-Fab after the loss and stuff like that, and Jade Cargill just got nasty in Mia's face or whatever the case is. So I guess that'll be Jade's next match. And then the undisputed title match. Listen, guys, I'll be honest. I do not look forward to Cody Rhodes segments or Cody Rhodes matches nowadays. It's just not for me right now. This was a clusterfuck thing. That it went via DQ. I believe the rest of the members of the Division got involved along with Drew McIntyre. I believe that happened earlier in the show where Drew McIntyre signed a contract where he was going to be part of the Survivor Series team along with the Division. Earlier on in the show, there was also a segment on SmackDown that included Charlotte, Lexi, Rhea, and Io, where Charlotte walked out. So now for right now, it seems like the women's Survivor Series match, or War Games match, should I say, I'm sorry, only has 3 women's members on the good guy side, while the other side that has Nia Jax, the debuting on SmackDown Lash Legend, and the Kabuki Warriors have their 4, but they're probably going to be looking for a 5th member to join their women's War Games side. So we'll see how that all turns out. And that's as much as I can recall about how SmackDown has been breaking down. But yeah, there's that.
Hey, Tag, how you doing? Hope all is well. Thank you for coming. Well, listen, we don't care if you come for a little bit or a long time. We appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I did. Jesus, listen, you know I gotta be desperate to say this. I agree with Jay. can't stand to see Cody segments anymore. And I'm the biggest Cody Rhodes fan you can find out there. Okay? I'm out here screaming ATLANTA, that's where I stay. Every time he come out there, I'm screaming, whoa, I'm out there. Okay? Him and CM Punk, I'm out there. I've been out there fighting in the field when nobody else was. Okay? But I'm over the same old things over and over again. And him looking like a loser at the end of everything.
Delores, can we just to bring this point up to you, and I'm sure other people have brought it up on their own respective YouTube shows and podcasts and things of that nature, but obviously this is our show, so I'll bring it up here. Cody, how many? It's been 3 years since he's come back to the WWE.
I think it has been,
yeah. Cody Rhodes' run right now, currently as it stands, it feels a lot like the tail end of his AEW run, where people just got tired of him. And
I thought he getting beat. He just getting beat down, barely winning by the skin of his teeth. Beat down. And it's like, is he getting beat down? Or the only thing I can hope and pray for is that he's getting stomped out like this. Because eventually he's gonna realize I'm gonna have to be the bad guy.
We'll see. But as of right now, it's just a lot of the same, which was the issue with him in AEW, because it was a lot of the same stuff. It was either stuff that wasn't going over with the fans, or it was a lot of the same thing. And that's how I feel with him in WWE right now. It's just a very stagnant thing, because, like you said, he keeps on getting beat down. So it's a lot of the same. So to me, it's just not working. But yeah, again, I'm not in the arenas with the fans and stuff like that. Like, he's still getting great reactions. I can't take that away from Cody and stuff like that. But from a TV watching aspect, it's just a lot of the same.
It's repetitive.
It's repetitive, and I'm not. It's not it for me as of right now. So I don't really have an interest in Cody. So
they're doing CM Punk like that too, which is crazy. But it's like he keeps being gullible and like, this person's coming out to help me. We're buddies. We're gonna do this, and then get punched in the face, and then looking stupid like, what happened? What happened? It's like, okay, you are now teaming with a man who super kicked you in the face, and you thought y'all were cool. Then you thought Logan Paul was cool with you, and he punched you in the face. We're gonna be realistic, because the storylines are supposed to be somewhat realistic to make you think, is that real? Is that fake? I would have trust issues after the first time. The second time will be confirmation. This ain't I don't know how many times he's had this storyline where he's like, somebody thought he was, I thought you were a friend. I thought you were cool. But even when he came back with Seth, even though that was a running thing before he even got WWE, it's like, oh, I thought we were cool. I thought you get over this. But our friendship, da, da, da. And it's like the same storyline that is beginning to irritate me. Also, y'all putting Logan Paul as the new Seth doesn't make me feel any better. Doesn't. And I'm like Braun Breaker. I don't know if you saw the little backstage thing they did when they were going in the tunnel, and they zoomed in the camera, and Braun Breaker like, I don't trust that man. And I was like, somebody who got common sense. But it is what it is. Hey, Creating with Tuck. Hi. Ladies and gentlemen, me and J News, we're going to go to the back, okay? Because we about to get into something here. It is AEW. AEW the week before was on the 5th, TBS, HBO Max, 3/18. It was the men's blood and guts advantage battle best of 3 series match number 1. It was Claudio Castagnoli getting a win over Orange Cassidy for the AEW women's tag team title quarterfinal match. The Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, defeated Athena and Mercedes Moné, who we're definitely going to talk about. Men's blood and guts advantage battle best of 3 series match number 2. Darby Allin defeated Daniel Garcia. Women's blood and guts advantage battle best of 3 series match number 1, Megan Bayne defeated Mina Shirakawa. And for the AEW World's Trios title match, the Ops, Katsuyori Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs, Samoa Joe defeated Adam Page, Eddie Kingston, and Hook. Now we're on to this week's match. We had the actual Blood and Guts show, and it was on the 12th on TBS HBO Max. It was 3/19. We had Blood and Guts match where Mina Shafir, Megan Bayne, Mercedes Moné, and the Triangle of Madness, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Thekla defeated Holly Cameron, Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, Mina Shirakawa, Toni Storm, and Willow Nightingale. We had a non-title Falls Count Anywhere match where Adam Page defeated Powerhouse Hobbs. We had a Blood and Guts match where Darby Allin, Roderick Strong, and the conglomeration of Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Ernst Cassidy defeated the Death Riders of Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, Jon Moxley, Pac, and Willa Yuta. J News, did you see this? And what did you think about this?
Yeah, I did see the AEW shows last 2 weeks. Just to touch on the Blood and Guts matches from this past week, I thought that the ladies killed it in their respective match. Not that the guys didn't do well, because they did. It's just that the ladies stood out because they went all out. I was not expecting some of the things that I saw in that women's Blood and Guts match, especially from Sky Blue and the likes of and even Mercedes, man. For Mercedes to do the spots that she did during the match was cool. Marina Shafir finally got to show off. Props to her. But I'll get into that later for my spotlight and stuff when it has to do with the ladies. But the ladies Blood and Guts match was cool. I thought that the Falls Count Anywhere match was fun as hell between Adam Page and Powerhouse Hobbs. Those guys went at it all over the arena, as they should have. And you know, Hanger got his ass beat the majority of the match, but he was able to edge out the win there over Powerhouse Hobbs and stuff like that. And then the men's Blood and Guts match went as
fire, blood, and
as build as I thought it was going to go. Yeah, there was fire, there was blood, there was guts, there was everything. Darby Allin went through a flaming table. He was thrown from the top of the staging area where the entrance is by Pac to end the match. Gabe Kidd got involved at one point, coming to the aid of the Death Riders and seeking his revenge on Darby Allin for dragging him through that parking lot in that body bag about a month or two ago. Yeah, man, big showing for Kyle O'Reilly, with Kyle O'Reilly getting the submission victory over Jon Moxley. But yeah, man, it was a violent affair. It was a crazy affair, and it went exactly how I thought it was going to go. And it was beautiful violence. And yeah, man, I thought it was a dope ass show, and it delivered.
Yeah, it was dope for it to be 3 matches. You would think 3 matches, you'd be like, what is it? But it was really dope. Mm-hmm. I will express, if most people know I'm not a Willow Nightingale fan, not because of her wrestling necessarily, but I've been looking at this same character since the women of wrestling. Okay, but I would like to say I enjoyed her in this match. I also enjoyed Mercedes Moné. Listen, because I think she's I enjoy her in this. The second part of the weekend, when I talk about it, I'm going to tell y'all, whoever booking for her, stop this stuff, okay? Everywhere she goes, she just picking up belts, left, right, and center. Please stop it, okay? Stop it. Not because I understand she's a popular and famous name, but some of these belts she's picking up, it's like, come on now, really? You just going to get her the belt for what reason? How many times she going to defend it? Wasting my time. But we'll talk about that a little later. Me and J Dudes, we about to go to the back because we got to talk about Ring of Honor, ROH, ladies and gentlemen. ROH the week before was on ROH 140 on the 6th on ROHWrestling.com of the app. ROH 6-man tag team title match with Shane Taylor production. Charlie Bravo, Shane Taylor, and Sean Dean defeat Beef and the Workhorsemen of Anthony Henry and JD Drake. We had Skyflight, Dante Martin, Darius Martin, and Scorpio Sky defeat the Kingdom of Matt Taven and Mike Bennett along with Matt Menard. We had the Don Callis family, Hechicero and Lance Archer, defeat Orion. Or listen, I'm not even gonna try to remember their names. And the OXP. We had Alex Windsor and Yuka Sakazaki defeat Robin Renegade and Tara Valkyrie. We had for the ROH Women's Pure Title Tournament quarterfinal match, Deonna Purrazzo defeat Trisha Dora. We had the Death Riders of Marina Shafir and Willa Yuta defeat Aaron Solo and Angelica Risk. Listen, these names, because they sound like other names that other popular wrestlers have. Staten Singh defeated Gino Adonis in a short match. We had the Swirl of Blake Christian and Lee Johnson defeat Alex Zane and Willie Mack. And for the ROH Pure Title Proving Ground match, Commander and Lee Moriarty ended in a 10-minute draw. I would say that's the match I liked on that show. Ladies and gentlemen, on to this week. ROH Honor Club 141 on the 13th. We had Lance Archer defeat Aaron Solo. The Swirl of Blake Christian and Lee Johnson defeating, I couldn't even remember who it was, and Will All Day. I'll tell you how much that match didn't mean nothing to me. Athena and Billy Starks defeated Hanan and Maya World. We had Dalton Castle and the Outrunners defeat, again, couldn't remember, Warren J and Zach Zilla. Okay. Skyflight, Dante Martin, Darius Martin, Leela Gray, and Scorpio Sky defeated MXM TV of Johnny TV, Mansar, Mason, and Tyra Valkyrie. For the ROH Pure Title Proving Ground match, Lee Moriarty defeated Willie Mack. And then in the last match of the night, Don Callis family, Hechicero and Rocky Romero defeated the Spanish Announce Project of Angelico and Serpentico. J News, did you see any of this?
So just to sum some stuff up about ROH and Honor Club and all that stuff, or whatever the case is, my own personal opinion from my perspective, I feel like they've been doing a great job the last month or so of getting other AEW talents that haven't been used on AEW TV as of late on ROH TV, which I thought should have been done for a while, instead of using the same acts over and over and over again and not having that much variety on the show. And or just too much local talent at the end of the day. So they've been doing a better job of using all the signed talents at AEW on ROH TV when they don't use them on AEW TV proper. So I want to give Tony Khan and the guys in the back and booking the shows some credit there. But things that stood out to me over the time were the appearances of Hyan and Maya World. As a tag team, they've been getting work on ROH TV, and the last 2 weeks they've been on Collision. So props to the ladies there for getting some shine and some time to be on TV and showing to the world that they've got something to show and prove. They're continuing with the Dawson Castle and the Outrunners thing as a trio, so we're probably going to see them work more as a trio. Probably end up on they've been doing, should I say, promo bits on Dynamite and Collision as well. So we've seen them get more promotion over the weeks. MXM TV has been getting a lot of TV time as well, even though they continuously lose. But TV time is TV time, so exposure is the common denominator here. For when you're signed to a TV wrestling company. But they lost to Skyflight. Skyflight members got wins over the last 2 weeks on ROH TV, and one of them was able to be and land on Collision this past week, as in Scorpio Sky. He had his TV title match versus Kyle Fletcher. So for those who think that what happens on ROH doesn't necessarily translate onto AEW TV, you're wrong. Lee Moriarty still being the pure champion and going through as many different opponents as he can for the time being. I really liked his match the prior week with Commander. This week's match versus Willie Mack wasn't bad, but I have seen Willie Mack versus Lee before, so nothing new to report there. And yeah, they've been having the last 2 to 3 weeks, they've been having appearances from the Don Callis family members who don't get a lot of wrestling time on AEW TV. So you've seen Rocky Romero and Hechicero and Lance Archer end up on ROH TV in different varieties of tag teams and stuff like that, because they're beefing with QT Marshall and his little group and things of that nature. They have a tailgate brawl match coming up between Big Boom AJ and Hechicero and Lance Archer. Or no, RPG Vice, should I say? I'm sorry, Trent and Rocky Romero. So they've been definitely working on that beef over on the ROH TV side. So it's been steady. I'm not gonna say it's been great, but it's been steady. It's been better than it has been in months prior on ROH TV. So I'll continue to keep an eye on it as weeks go on.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. You already know. We're going to the back. And we're going to go over to Collision. Well, it wasn't go early. Collision, ladies and gentlemen. Collision. We're going to start off from last week's Collision. Week before last, sorry. It was on the 8th on TNT HBO Max, 118. We had the Bang Bang Gang of Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson defeat FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dex Hardwood. We have for the AEW TNT title match, Kyle Fletcher defeated Ace Austin. We had Tay J of Anna J and Ty Mello defeat Hanan and Maya World in 1 minute, 50 seconds. I wish it kind of went a little bit longer. We had the Blood and Guts Advantage Battle Best of 3 Series match number 2 for the ladies. Jamie Hayter defeated Sky Blue. We had the Best of Blood and Guts Advantage Battle Best of 3 Series match number 3 with Thekla defeated Harley Cameron. And we had the Best of 3 Series match again where Roderick Strong defeated John Moxley. Now we're on to this week's show, which just happened yesterday on the 15th. It was 119 on TNT, HBO Max, where the Death Riders of Daniel Garcia, Pac, and Willa Yuta defeat Adam Priest, Jay Lethal, and Tommy Billington. We had Mark Briscoe defeat Mark Davis. We had Ty Mello defeating Tyra Valkyrie. We had for the AEW TNT title match, Kyle Fletcher defeating Scorpio Sky. We had Alex Windsor and Riho defeating Hanan and Maya World. We had Bandito and Jet Speed of Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey alongside Juice Robinson defeating FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dex Hardwood, and La Faction Inglaterra, which is Roosh and Sammy Guevara. Jay News, did you see this? What you think about it?
I did see this. So over the last 2 weeks, just to speak about the last 2 weeks of Collision, Kyle Fletcher has been having tremendous matches against his opponents. His match from the previous week with Ace Austin was a banger of a match, and this week's match versus Scorpio Sky was a good match until the end, where I feel like it got a little bit sloppy with some exchanges between Scorpio Sky and Kyle Fletcher, but the majority of the match was good. It was just towards the tail end of the match where things didn't go according to plan with certain spots here and there. So shouts to Kyle Fletcher, Scorpio Sky, and Ace Austin for putting on some tremendous TNT title matches over the last couple of weeks. The Death Riders match, Collision was live yesterday. It was not pre-taped. It was live Saturday. So the Death Riders match came off the heels of Blood and Guts. They were looking for some retribution in this case, getting their anger out on this trios team of Adam Priest, Jay Lethal, and Tommy Billington. The match was actually pretty good, but it did show how much more precise and how much more violent it seems that the Death Riders are becoming now after their loss in the cage at Blood and Guts. Mark Briscoe versus Mark Davis, I thought was a hell of a match as well. I think it was Mark Davis's first match back on Collision in a long period of time as a singles competitor. And his match versus Mark Briscoe was a banger of a match. I would definitely recommend folks to go back and look at that. Ty Mello came out during the MXM collection casting call as she asked for her one-on-one matchup versus Taya Valkyrie. The match got more time than I thought they were going to get, which is a good thing for Ty Mello and Taya Valkyrie, because Taya Valkyrie has been in the wrestling business for a long period of time, and she's one hell of a professional wrestler. So anytime she's given time in an AEW ring is always cool. And Ty Mello is showing that she has definitely rounded herself back into shape and is now back to doing her damn thing in the ring. But this led to a Ty Mello promo that was cut in the back. Ty Mello was jumped post-match after she defeated Taya Valkyrie by Marina Shafir. And then Toni Storm came out for the save for Ty Mello, as she was able to give Marina Shafir her pile driver maneuver to subdue Marina Shafir for the time being and save Ty Mello. Ty Mello went ahead and cut what I would deem to be her best promo ever on AEW or anywhere that I have seen her. Very passionate, very feisty. She didn't stumble over her words. She was believable and stuff like that. Good backstage promo for Ty Mello. So I want to give her props there. Alex Windsor and Riho actually look good as a tag team on AEW TV here versus Hyann and Maya World. Hyann and Maya World yet again proving that they belong on the AEW stage. More Maya World in this match than Hyann. I don't know what happened there. It seemed like Hyann. Her timing was a little off in this match specifically, but not to say that that takes away anything from the efforts and the other matches that Hyann has had with Maya World on AEW TV. I'm just talking about this match in particular. The girls overall have been making the best of their opportunities. Like I said, Alex Windsor and Riho for teaming for the first time on TV looked pretty good. Or the second time, because they actually had their record. Well, that's a 1-0 record between Alex Windsor and Riho. So their second time teaming, they look pretty good, even though Alex Windsor has been teaming with Yuka Sakazaki over on ROH TV. Don't know why they didn't go with that, but it is what it is there. The multi-man, 8-man all-star match was exactly what it was. It was a fun time. Everybody got their shit in, and the faces ended up winning. And I'm trying to remember the other only key thing I want to talk about and touch on when it came to Collision was the first promo that Toni Storm cut in the back with Lexi Nair and Mina Shirakawa, where she was basically throwing out bars at Marina Shafir and the ladies who put the beating on Mina Shirakawa during the Ladies Blood and Guts, which is what had Toni Storm ending up in surrender there, because they were just beating the crap out of Toni Storm, and all the other girls were non-contendere at the end of the day. So Toni Storm cut one hell of a promo there. She also cut another funny promo in the back after Riho and Alex Windsor won their match, but that was more for comedic purposes. But it's leading towards their tag team match for the women's tag tournament titles, which I think their match is on Dynamite this week. So I'm looking forward to that. So another solid show for Collision. Fun show overall. They're walking into full gear with what I believe is good momentum. I'm not saying it's anything that's otherworldly and things of that nature are super great, but I think everything has been solid and has been easy to follow, and it's not too convoluted as it can get at times. So props to TK and the writing team on that. So I just wanted to go for that.
Yes. I did enjoy this. Also, let me come up on the stream. We never did talk about, because we weren't here, the walkout. I wanted to hear your perspective. I was like, let me not mention it.
So Dolores, last week, I know you had your own personal things to go to take care of outside of, which is why we didn't even do the show on Sunday. Last week woke me up. I had some interactions with folks online over a movie review that I did, which was a negative movie review, and this is going to tie into what we're about to talk about.
Yeah,
and I was, a lot of the time, and you know me well enough to know now, I do my best to stay professional about stuff. I do my best to keep things light and joke and not necessarily be too serious about what it is that we do, because it's wrestling at the end of the day. It's just commentary and whatnot. It's not anything that people have to consider like some life or death shit. But in the instance of what you just brought up, the walkout, right? We're talking about two young ladies, to be specific, Miranda Alizé and Nixon Newell, right? The reason as to why I brought up my exchange with people on the internet was because I got fed up and I got tired, and I got so tired that when I was on True Heel Heat, I went on this rant, and SP3 was like, "Damn, dog, I ain't seen you go on a rant like this, I don't think ever." And I didn't get to talk about this walkout, right? And at first, when I read all the articles and understood, and I was trying to understand the news, I felt like I was going to go on this rant about what happened with these young ladies. But at the end of the day, I've come down to the conclusion where it's like, instead of being over the top with it, I'm just going to say this. A lot of the time nowadays, especially in our society as it's currently constructed, the world wants to tell you that you should know what your value is, right? And don't let anyone ever undercut you or underestimate your value. But the other side of that coin is, don't overestimate your value and don't overstand where you think you stand in a certain industry and business, right? And in this case, when it comes to TV wrestling, right? TV wrestling is exactly what I just called it. It's TV wrestling, meaning what? Whatever wrestlers end up on TV get the exposure, they get the time. That means that people, the audience, get to see them. If we don't see you on TV, that by majority, for people who only watch wrestling on TV, then we don't know anything about you, right? We don't get to be fans of you because we don't get to see you on TV on a regular basis. So even if you're given, and I get it, as fans, we complain about when the ladies don't get enough TV time, but knock it out the park with whatever time you do get, so that later on you do get more time, right? You're coming into a brand new company and you're telling this brand new company, hey, this isn't enough time. It's not going to benefit anybody. Where the time that was allotted to you, no doubt it was short, was meant to not only benefit the team that was going to win, but it was supposed to benefit you as well, because that means if you would have done well in that match, it would have given you more work for later, right? And in this instance, these two young ladies done dropped the ball because they weren't working that often, right? That's my personal opinion. If you're not working often on the indies, you're not getting any TV bookings elsewhere and whatnot. And now you're complaining about TV time you didn't even have previously. That didn't make much sense to me.
Especially one of them being that you're quote unquote labeled as injury prone, and you get a shot after. Listen, I know WWE does some effed up stuff. They really do. Okay, look at me. I know it. But some of the stuff, in hindsight, it's not that effed up, okay? It's not that effed up. I remember not us, but I remember people going in uproar. Oh my God, they fired Jeff Hardy because of the test. And I kept thinking to myself, it's a little bit more to this. I think there's a little bit more to this. But then when he shows up, tore up, or messed up, and then AEW says, oh, there's a problem, then, oh, well, he does have a problem. No, he had a problem back in WWE. He refused to get help for it. Just because he went to AEW don't mean that make it any different. And that's why I want some people to think about it. If you're injury prone, imagine me as a business owner, and you can't never come to work. Do you think they're going to keep you? And on top of that, imagine every time you don't come to work, I still gotta pay you and take care of you. That seems like there's more money coming out of my pocket. So whereas I can get zero if I let you go, right now I might be paying you $5,000 to not come to work, and then I'm paying your medical bills, which for me, I know just a little light stuff I get done. The other day I got a $20,000 bill for a procedure that took an hour. So imagine they doing surgeries, rehabs, medicines, different things that they are paying for, and you do this a lot. Is the risk worth it? That they're going to magically heal and be the same again? It's not. So I think at a certain point, people need to be realistic. And also, you have to be realistic with yourself. I'm already injury prone. I've had a shot at a big company. They've had to, put me out like in the pasture. I get a chance, which indie people wasn't even messing with me like that because I thought I was too big in the head. And then I get an opportunity and then I mess it up. And then on top of that, to hear that Daniel Bryant was trying to talk to them, reach out to them, kind of be like, okay, let's just have a conversation about this, regardless of if it was screwed up or not, of how it went down. When Daniel Bryant reaches out to you to reconcile and fix things, when he don't have to, he's a talent that's above you all. Reaching down to say, hey, I want to make this right. And you still walk out, that makes me think that you just a crappy human being at heart.
So to be fair about the Daniel Bryan part of it, right? Because that was speculation. One of the girls, Nixon Newell, she reached out to Sean Ross Sapp and the people at Fightful and directly. And she said that she never had a conversation, nor has she ever met Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. So that part of the information that was put out there into the interwebs and onto the dirt sheets was false, right? The Bryan Danielson part.
But see, the story was that he reached out. He had tried to get in touch with somebody to get in touch with her, and then they walked out. So he never even did get a chance to talk to her. Did. So it's like, so the fact that even hearing it, like you should have reached out to somebody. If it wasn't, because Tony claims he's available to be talked to. You could have reached out to a multitude of people to try to figure this out, to work things out. You have the young bucks walking around like they regular human beings and not superstars. You could have reached out to somebody to say, I have a problem, which you did say you had a problem with it, but they were like, nothing we can do about it. It's nothing we can do about it.
The thing that gets me the most, Delores, and this is more of a life thing than anything else, right? I've had this penchant of never recommending people when it comes to work, right? Because you never necessarily know, unless you know somebody intimately, like for sure, that's my main man, 20 grand, and you know their habits and stuff like that. And they'll go to bat for you. You can trust that person. That's fine. But if out of the nicest or the sincereness of the sincerity of your heart, you're going to go to bat for somebody, which is what happened here in Nixon's case. There were a bunch of wrestlers who she's friends with till this day, right? Who went to bat for her in AEW, and she didn't do them any favors. Nah, man. Like man. That to me was the business part of it. I get, right? She walked out. She didn't want to do business. She didn't want to do the 3 minutes thing. It wasn't enough time. Okay. But in this instance, you made your friends look bad, right? And they spoke up for you. Like, that's not a cool thing to have, man.
She hasn't really even spoke to anybody. So it's like, so you didn't even call the people who vouched for you to be like, hey, I'm sorry I did this, but I felt this way, or nothing? You felt nothing? That what makes me be like, and then to hear the indie people were like, you had these
I
Read
did
these
read about
thoughts
that.
about yourself.
I
And
read
it's like,
about that. Yeah, that supposedly she's her fee is like absurd, and like how is she like people keep on saying, or I keep on reading, should I say, that she complains about not having work, but the thing is that her fees are too high, and it seems, right, I can't
she's
say
her
because
own
I'm not there, I don't talk to her, but allegedly it seems that she's difficult to work with, and that on top of everything else is not something you want to follow your reputation, right?
Yeah.
So
It's like, I think some people don't realize that some of their demands or requirements are too much for the level that they are. Like, for instance, I know I love him down. I know that the SP3 could be like, I want red M&Ms with fire on them and champagne water, because you know what? His channel, his brand has proven that he is required. He can get what he wants. Now, SP, if I can say, hey, y'all, you want me on your show, I want red M&Ms with fire on it and what? They're going to be like, hold on, sis. You ain't even at 500 and you talking smack? Take that. We don't even want you on here. And then they're going to tell other people, and it's going to get around. Then it's going to make it seem like, okay, so she's backing herself in a corner. You can't go to TNA. That's WWE. AAA is WWE. WWE is working with other brands and different things, and we'll talk about it later. I don't know what's going on with, they kind of like sometimes let people go to indie things. And so I'm beginning to think they're trying to monopolize a little bit further. So it is what it is. People just have to see where it goes. But for me, that was just upsetting because you left your contract. They fired you. You got to walk out. You got cool. That's great. Because we know somebody else who was in the news who got fired. We know 2 people in the news recently who got fired, and they're going to sit in the dog for a while. So, and one of them, listen, Ricochet's wife, I don't know why they doing you like this. I think I have a clue, but I don't know why they doing you like this. That you have to sit down for, what was it, 5 years?
2 years.
2 years. 2 years. You got to sit down. I ain't never heard nothing like that before. I thought, I mean, you'd see people not come up, but not for 2 whole years.
Yeah, I mean, there's nuance and there's details to that stuff that we don't necessarily know. So
yeah, because I know they're saying that maybe they let, out of courtesy, they let her, because she's a good worker, let her out of her contract early.
Yeah,
but she still owed them the 2, and so.
Right. And at the end of the day, I still, from my understanding, she's still getting paid. So yeah. that's the main thing.
That's the big kicker, yeah. That's but if I was her, I would have probably negotiated, well, you ain't got to pay me no more, just let me go. But they were like, you know, we'll let you go and we'll pay you, but you can't be doing all of this. But ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go. I was like, I saw J News on True Hill Heat, and I was like, I gotta get his opinion on this little walkout, because I know how I felt. And I was like, maybe J News will feel the same way a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going back to the way back. And we're going back to J News's unfavorite thing, TNA wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start off for the week before last on the 16th. 11/11 was the episode. It was called Open Fight Night 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, we had the System, which is Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards, defeat Sinner and Saint, Judas Icarus and Travis Williams. The Great Hands of Jason Hotch and John Schuyler. The Rascals of Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. We had Danny Luna defeat Jody Threat. We had a non-title El Paso tag team street fight with the Hardys, Jeff and Matt Hardy, defeat the Colognes of Eddie and Orlando Colon. We had the TNA heavyweight title match where Bobby Roode defeated AJ Styles. Yes, I said that right. We had a non-title match of Mike Santana defeating Cedric Alexander. Okay. TNA wrestling. We're going on to the next episode, which was on the 3rd. No, was it? Hold on. Right there. 13th. Danny Luna defeated Indy Hartwell by DQ. Cedric Alexander defeated John Hotch. We had TNA Knockouts World Title match where Kalani Jordan defeated Heather by elegance. We had the TNA World Title match where Mike Santana versus Ryan Nemeth ended in a no contest. But they started it again, but this time with Frankie Kazarian. And Frankie Kazarian defeated Mike Santana in 54 seconds. This the moment that I looked Jay News and said, what the are you doing, TNA? What the? Jay News, did you see any of this? Even a clip of this? How do you feel?
As you know, I do not watch TNA. I have my reasons for not watching TNA. And this particular ending of this show cements as to why I don't watch TNA. TNA went out of their way to create this big emotional story for Mike Santana to end up to then end up finally winning the TNA championship, the TNA world title. I had my issues with that, not because Mike's not an excellent talent. I love Mike Santana. He represents for my city, let alone, my folks from across the other island and stuff like that, people from Puerto Rico and everything else in between. But I must say this, man. TNA makes more boneheaded decisions with their booking than I have ever than 1999 and 2000's WCW. Like this to me made no sense.
They about the same level. They I think TNA can make it worse. You got a man with bolts in his neck. I'm still going to the day I die. I'm saying I hate that man. I can't stand him. All he do is just throw his body on the line.
This decision made no sense to me.
Mind you, they did this decision, J News. This was Thursday. Mm-hmm. Friday, the next day was the pay-per-view. That make sense.
Yeah, to me this didn't make any sense. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Indy Hartwell went full heel and she beat down Danny Luna from what I read online. Mm-hmm. That's interesting because Indy's a nice girl. I watch her vlogs and stuff like that. She seems like a nice girl and everything else in between. As a wrestling talent, she doesn't do it for me. She just doesn't.
Dry
as hell. Not much in the personality field. And turning her heel to me, I don't think it's gonna do her any favors.
But we'll talk about it. But it was another disqualification match, so she had a reason.
Okay, fair enough. But thirdly, and most importantly, right? TNA just had an array of different wrestlers that they had under contract last month not last month, but at the end of September, no longer under contract. So a lot of people that you're watching on TNA TV nowadays, folks, they're wrestling for TNA at per purse deals, like they get paid on the show and whatnot. Yeah. They're not under TNA contract.
That's why
yet again, today, Delores, is another day where a bunch of TNA talents contracts expire.
Come on over to WWE. We'll show you how it feels. I really believe when they had the TNA versus WWE and they came into the Performance Center and they were walking, like you see backstage, they were showing them the Performance Center. They were meeting Shawn Michaels and them, the Triple A. I think they were saying, hey, the grass is greener over on the other side. Come on over here. Essentially they were doing you don't want some all in your videos. You want to come on the Death Row Records. Come on over. That's what they did.
I feel like they as in TNA, I feel like they've devalued their brand over the last several months just by letting people out of their contracts This past week, Joe Hendry, his contract expired in TNA the day after he had already signed with the WWE. They got young Kalani Jordan over there with her whole new heel persona.
I'm so angry.
Working TNA dates with a WWE contract and stuff like that. And like I said, today, Sunday, November 16th, is another pillar day in TNA for the year 2025 because a lot of other contracts in TNA expire. That include AJ Francis. That includes.
I don't need him to come back. Please don't.
I hear you, but I'm just saying, like, just in general, like contracts of talents are expiring today. Yeah,
Cardona was technically with them, and he left.
No, he never signed a TNA deal. Matt Cardona he was
doing a per person deal thing. Right. He was there often, but he left too. He's like, everybody does not want to stay with them. And on the topic of TNA and WWE, we had in the news about Rich Holland, and I looked at him sideways and said, "Sir, after you done dug a hole for yourself, how you gonna get out?" He said he did not know about the GoFundMe, but somebody he must have known or a family member must have made it for him. Then he said, "I don't need money," because it come to find out people in WWE did not like that he got fired like this, but was like, as long as you've been working here, and some people who weren't making that type of money were like, "I just been working here, you shouldn't be dead broke." Then he's like, "Well, I don't need money." Then people were like, "Well, then give back the GoFundMe." He's like, "Well, I can't quite do that." Somebody's like, "Well, then donate it." And then he was like, "Well, I'm just going to keep it till I get back on my feet." And I'm like, "Sir, you still getting paid. You are still getting paid from the WWE. And they are still paying your medical. Why in the fly are you taking people's money?" Wrestlers donated $1,000, $2,000 money to you, and you are holding it. You could have given it to less fortunate, given it to a charity, given it to somebody, and you up here. I wanted to scream. Yes, WWE, you didn't have to fight him like that. But again, he stepped out there. You know you cannot disparage the company you work for. Even as a regular employee, if I used to work at UPS. I can't get up here even now and tell you, "Oh, they are this, they're that, they're another." I can't do that, even as a regular person. This goes back to the topic earlier. You all need to understand what you can and can't do. Okay? I even talked about this yesterday with somebody else. A lady filmed a man in his house. Yes, he didn't have no clothes on. She went to drop DoorDash off. She said she felt like she was harassed because he had his pants out, his stuff out. Okay? But mind you, they just hit her with 2 felonies. A, for doxing this man, and B, for recording him in his own house. When I saw the video, those are the 2 things I thought about. Common sense sometimes ain't common into everybody. You can't get on the internet and just say and do anything and not expect consequences behind it. And then now you saying, "I don't need the money, but I'm going to hold it till I get back up." Do you need it or you don't need it? If you don't need it, like you said, please take that money, since you can't give it back to the original people, and please just donate it to a charity or something, people who do need it. And that really irked me so bad, because I'm like, it made me want to scream, J News. It made me want to scream. Because I'm like, you have been afforded a lot. After you hurt Big E and you hurt a lot of other people, you should have been fired then. Like, gone forever. But you just keep pushing it and you run your mouth. Well, I was in another company, and then they still come to find out they were still paying your bills, still paying you, and you go out here and you trash the company. You should have got fired. But
all I have to say is, damn shame. Damn shame.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go on to the show that we were talking about before. It was TNA's turning point. Ladies and gentlemen, also, let me come back up on the screen with your news. TNA, y'all some market busters, okay? It's fact that y'all, if you've been on the app to like, I was like, I'm just gonna order the app. I'm used to pay $10 and I'll watch pay-per-view. That's great. They don't guarantee you can watch pay-per-view if you pay the $10, okay? But if you pay $125 for the whole year, they guarantee you can watch pay-per-view. Who gonna pay $125 for that? So I had to watch how I had to watch it. It wasn't like that. Ladies and gentlemen, TNA on the countdown on YouTube, we only got one match. It was Jake something defeating Mance Warner and the Hometown Man. They relying on the Hometown Man a lot lately. TNA Turning Point 2025, the main part of the pay-per-view. We had a TNA Knockouts World Title match where Kelani Jordan defeated M by Elegance. She just been fighting every elegant person there is. AJ Francis defeated BDE. Goddamn. No disqualification match. Indy Hartwell defeated Danny Luna. For the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team title match, the inspiration of Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay defeated the Angel Warriors of Lee Ying Lee and Zaya Brookside. And they also defeated Moore and Victoria Crawford. Order 4, John Hotch, John Schuyler, and Mustafa Ali defeated Cedric Alexander and the Hardys of Jeff and Matt Hardy. We had the Rascals, Desmond Xavier, Myron Reed, Trey McGill, Zachary Wentz defeat the System of Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, JDC, and Moose. We had TNA X Division title match where Leon Slater defeated Rich Swann. That's a match that I love. And the man who lost the title was in the main event. Mike Santana and Steve Macklin defeated Frankie Kazarian and Nick Nemeth. So the two people he couldn't beat the night before, he beat in a match on the main event of the pay-per-view. This is some market shit. If I ain't never seen that in my life. J News, did you see any clips of this? I hope not. Save your eyes.
Only thing I saw was that Dez came back to join his homies in the Rascals. He's not signed to TNA, folks. Just know he didn't sign a contract. He just made an appearance to be with the homies in this match. It was also reported coming out of this show that Zachary Wentz's contract is coming up soon at the end of the year as well. So there's that. Shouts to Myron, because Myron, he out here, you know, he's a wife guy. He loves his wife. He loves his little girl. Shouts to Myron, man. Trey Miguel, he been out here in the trenches for a while. I think those boys, that whole entire unit, that 4-man unit, needs some exposure outside of TNA and obviously the WWE purview, because those cats are extremely talented. I understand the background issues that Zachary Wentz has, and you know that's all character-based shit or whatever. But I think as you know, as you get older, you mature, things change, people can change. You know, you can always vet that if you need to. But I feel like the Rascals as a team can do some serious damage in a good way when it comes to the professional wrestling industry. Hopefully, they get out of that TNA wormhole soon, and they're able to apply their craft elsewhere. That is my own personal take on that. I think this was the show where Indy Hartwell went all ape shit, right, Dolores? Not the previous show. So there's that.
Yeah.
Outside of the whole deal there. But yeah, I ain't got nothing else to say about anything else. Good to see Rich Swann's name back in the mix though.
Yeah, he's been doing more. He was with that bad man, AJ Francis, but they seem to turn on each other. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go back in the way back, and you already know what time it is. It's time. Listen, a girl loves a good hardcore match, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, it was the massacre in Maine. Listen, we had short but sweet. It was those are the things. I don't know why I did that. Oh, it didn't give me the matches, but I'll tell you about the massacre in Maine. It was Ryan O'Neal defeating Hazard, Modar, Seabass Fan, Smiley, and TJ Crawford. We had the top team of Jay Lucas and Teriyaki defeating the Miracle Generation of Dustin Waller and Colin King. We had KJ Orso defeating Maki Ito. Love it. GCW Tag Team title match, Buster and the Brain, which is Alex Price and Jordan Oliver, defeating Starstruck of Anthony Green and Channing Thomas. We had Limitless World title match where Desmond Cole defeated Charles Mason. We had Marcus Mathers defeat Ace Romero. We had Savage Gnome Dozer. That's what it is. Savage Gnome Dozer, Bear Bronson, Gabby Forza, and Matt Tremont defeating VNDL48, which is Atticus and Otis Cougar along with Christian Napier. We have Danhausen defeating Shotzi Blackheart. For the GCW World title match, my boy Effie defeated he retained his title in a no contest against Ricky Morton. I mean, if he had lost to Ricky Morton, I would have been pissed. Atticus Cougar, Kerry Morton, and KJ Orso then defeated Effie and Joey Janela and Ricky Morton. Because, as we all know, GCW cluster forever. Okay? Let's go back. Now we're on to the next show, which happened on the 9th, which was the last show happened on the 8th on Triller TV. All GCW shows are on Triller TV. This one is on the 9th, and it was called Green Mountains. Teriyaki defeated Anthony Green and Corey Jackson and Davius Cass and Johnny Pierce and Ryan O'Neal. Marcus Mathers defeated Don Freeze. Maki Ito defeated Selena. GCW Tag Team title match, Buster and the Brain. Alex Price and Jordan Oliver defeated Memorial Museum of Abed and Joe Cruel. We had Ricky Martin defeating Kerry Morton. They just always fight. They always fight each other or somebody else. Hey, son, how are you doing? We had for the JCW title match, Billy Starks defeating Shotzi Blackheart. We had Beer Dozer, which is Beer Bronson and Matt Tremont, defeat the Lost Boys of Promise and Penn. We had for the GCW World title match, Effie defeating Danhausen. For the GMW title, we had Mike defeating and retaining his title against Joey Janela in a no contest. We had a tag team title match with Joey Janela and the Mullet Man. Wild and crazy. Defeated KJ Orso and Mike. Okay. I know J News ain't seen none of the GCW stuff. And this is the show where I loved but hated. Okay. It was HOG House of Glory Super Clash. It happened last night, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing Red defeated Nick Nemeth. Shayna Baszler, who I will be talking about later, defeated Maki Ito. For the Cruiserweight #1 contender 6-way scramble match, Joey Silver defeated Angel Jaquez, JJ Doles, Mighty Mantequilla, Raheem Royal, and Shakut. Listen, they got some crazy names in GC. They come from like GCW, HOG. They have some crazy names. Killer Cross defeated Idris Jackson. Scarlett Bordeaux and Shotzi Blackheart, yay, defeated Allie Catch and Priscilla Kelly. For the HOG World Championship, Charles Mason defeated Desmond Xavier. For the APAC Women's Wrestling Women's World Championship, Mercedes Moné defeated Nora Phoenix Diana to win the title. This J News is where I got a motherfucking problem, okay? She don't need to be winning this APAC title. Come on now, J News. She don't need to be winning this APAC title.
At the end of the day, I've already said what I needed to say about Mercedes Moné's title accumulation thing. I don't have anything against Mercedes Moné as a wrestling talent. I've actually grown to become a fan of her in-ring work. And she does well here and there when given the proper storyline. But you also have to understand, you as in the proverbial you, as in these wrestling promoters, these in different promotions. I get it. She's a draw. She brings
Yes,
fans to
she's
your
a man.
arenas, and she's a name. I understand that, right? I get all that. But from a macro point of view, the grand scheme of things, when is this going to end necessarily? Right? We need to start to turn the corner on this story. I know, just based on what she's done since she's left the, or not that I know, I don't know necessarily or concretely, but my assumption is, this is me assuming, that due to everything that she's done the last 2.5 years since she's left the WWE, that she's going to turn around and she's going to defend these championships and eventually lose them in each one of these companies. She's not going to just leave them in the air, because she's done too much work and gone over the world to make it her point to elevate women's wrestling. So I don't think she's going to be walking out on anybody or vacating these titles. That's not what she's going to do. My point is that the story of her belt collection needs to turn the corner soon. It's getting to be too much at this point. It has nothing to do with her being a champion. She can be a champion. She's that good. She deserves to be a champion. All I'm saying is the accumulation of belt story has gone on for too long. You got to turn the corner at some point. Now, if she loses her match against Stat on Saturday and Stat retains, and that's the impetus, and then things start to turn the corner, okay. But did we necessarily need to have her win this match against this girl who is Nor out of Chicago, or is she out of the Middle East? That's where I'm not clear.
That's me either. I couldn't figure out. It seemed like she was out of the Middle East.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'm not for sure. But my thing about it is that, man, I hate to be like this. It's like she won this title for. Why does she need this title? How many? I've lost count on how many titles she has.
It's like
so she had 13 before this, right?
No, it's 13 now with this one.
13 now. So 13 now. Is she just? This is another problem I have where I say common sense ain't common to everybody. She had a freak accident one time and had to give up the belt. She has another freak accident. She's gonna have to give up 13 belts. This is crazy to me. You are putting everything on one person. We've been rolling the dice and it's been going good. But you still have to think about the opposite of what happens when it goes wrong. And they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about a name. Like, so am I supposed to think that she's going to hit rock bottom, losing the Apex title in a couple of months? And it was ironic. It was funny because somebody was like, we're going to talk about coming up this weekend, her match. I said, she ain't going to lose. And the crazy stuff is that it's horrible that she just won this title. And if she does lose that title, but I don't think she is. Even if she loses that title, it's like, why did she win here? Either way, why did she win here? What is this title that is not a HOG title that important to rock up on her roster? That don't make no sense. And that's why I said it made what little bit of credit I gave her for Blood and Guts go blood like, oh, I can't even stand you no more. Like, I used to be the person that anybody who knows me, I was over in True Hill Heat. I was like, oh, she's everything since sliced bread. I stayed up in the morning to watch her on New Japan. I was screaming for her. But now I'm looking at her and I'm like, you are doing too much and I can't do too much with you too long. Because you're taking opportunities away. Even though the match was...
Well, let's be fair. Hold on. I think that the opportunity thing, I don't think she's taking opportunities away from anybody. If anything, I'll differ from you on that standpoint. She's not taking opportunities away. She's giving a lot of girls who would have never had the opportunity to be showcased the way that they have been in matches against her because they are against her. She's giving them opportunities.
I think Shotzi, the match above any one of those women should have won that championship. Scarlett, Shotzi, Allie, Priscilla. But any one of them women should have. Shayna, Makito, one of them other women should have won that title other than her.
So the thing about that is then, Delores, is it becomes the point that you and I both made, right? Is that Mercedes even now is still a bigger name than Shotzi and Scarlett and Allie and Priscilla. So that's why they're giving her the belt. That's why they're giving her the championship for that particular wrestling promotion. My thing about it is that I don't have an issue with Mercedes being a champion. I have an issue with how long this belt collector thing has been going on. It's just dragged at this point. I don't have. She can if you were to tell me that she didn't have any of these titles and she had this long-standing feud with Chris Statlander, she was going into that match with no other titles, and there's going to be Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné for the AEW Women's Championship, and she won the championship. I would have been like, well deserved at the end of this point, at the end of the day. But she's not in that circumstance. She's got 13 other belts for 13. What is it? 9 different countries and 13 different titles and whatnot. She's got to travel across the world to defend them. You're muted, Dolores. She's got to travel.
She built up to this. How she gonna just? That's what I'm saying about wear and tear on the body. Like I'm expecting her to go around the world just lose and lose. Oh, we just gonna do like this, you all or nothing kind of thing. Like I don't expect her to do the all or nothing. Like you take all the titles and all that. I don't think that would be a stipulation she would ever do. No. It's like at a certain point, you got to go around the world to lose your title one thing at a time, and we supposed to watch you go crazy little by little by little by little by little. It was fun on the way up, but coming down, that's gonna take a lot out of you. That takes a lot out of you, and you still are doing like dates where you doing entertainment dates outside of AEW, different things. You have to think about like if something happens, even if you twist the ankle or mess them up, you could potentially be messing it up for the person who is supposed to take the baton and run off with it.
Yeah, but you can't necessarily think that way. You can't be negative.
We saw it with Willow. It was when Willow won, it seemed like the internet exploded in a million pieces. I was a little bit teed off. She won too. And then she got a chance, she won the title. And then it was almost like you only won because she got hurt.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. That was the reality of the circumstances in the immediacy that it happened, right? She only won because Mercedes got hurt. But what happened? After Willow won the New Japan Women's Strong Championship, she took off at the end of the day. And now she's at where she's at. She signed her contract with AEW. She's one of the frontline women of the AEW women's roster, which we'll talk about in a bit. And that opportunity versus Mercedes helped catapult Willow into a stratosphere that she's in now at the end of the day. And
but you can also say that, let's just say she going for the Hit the Ropes podcast title and she get hurt. 13 other titles are now is no match to even pass the baton or even get close to show a spotlight to the next person to win the title.
I understand what you're saying, Dolores, but you can't think that way. That's not the way you can't think that way.
Bookers need to start thinking that way because you know people. First of all, no offense to Seth, okay? Because CM Punk is the same way for me. If you have a consistency of maybe getting injured at big times and big moments, or you're injured more often than not, there should be a contingency plan. Okay, it should be immediately. Like Seth got injured, they did this little tournament thing, they did a little mini storyline, whatever, great. But they had a contingency plan. I don't think AEW or the other promotions got a contingency plan if something just go straight left.
Right, but at the same time, you just made the point though, Dolores, right? Seth Rollins has had the issue where he has gotten injured frequently over the years. What happened to Mercedes was a freak accident and it only happened once. So she's not necessarily injury prone. If we were talking about let me be unfair for a minute. If we were talking about Nixon Newell being a champion of 13 different, we would be it'd be fine to be having this conversation.
I did have this conversation when I think while back when Chris Statlander won. I was like, okay, well, what are we going? How long this gonna be? How long? Also with Soraya when she won too, I did that.
Yeah, but like I said, at the end of the day, you can't think that way, because then you're just gonna you're going to stymie your business if you're always having a plan, to that avail. Like I said, my position is it's just been going on for too long. I got no. I think
it's gonna go to the beginning of the year.
It probably will. No, it's got to. For all intents and purposes, I feel like it should start with her losing the stat. That is my thing. If she wins against Chris Statlander, I'm gonna have an issue.
I think she's gonna win because they want her to lose. So I think they're gonna go from what they think is the lowest title to she get to the big title and she lose. So if she had lost this opportunity to win the APAC, I would have been like, okay, she's beginning to start the spiral. But the fact that she won it, I'm like, okay, so I would, out of all her titles, no offense to APAC, I'll put this at the bottom of the list. So she needs to lose this one first. And she just won it, so she ain't gonna lose it. So it's like, lose this one first, and then progressively as she's like fighting and scratching to keep the titles that mean the most and the most important because she's the CEO and it's grand. I think she's gonna begin to lose her mind more and more until she only has the AEW title left, and she's fighting, scratching, and clawing to keep it. And when she loses, she's gonna just snap.
Yeah,
then she might have to take what they call, she's had a snap moment. She needs to take some time off and she come back a different person.
I think the story that they've been telling with her matches on AEW TV specifically has been that she's been scratching and clawing to keep her TBS championship. She's been having a scratch and claw against her opponents with that one. I don't think, like, in my estimation, just from a booking standpoint and from and making sense of the stories that she's been telling in the ring, I don't think she's gonna win against Chris Statlander because she just can't win the big one. Because to Chris Statlander's point in her promo that she cut, I believe it was last Collision, not this Collision. She's not focused on the AEW Women's Championship. She's focused on accumulating titles. She's not focused on that one championship. So for all intents and purposes, I feel like
she had to win fair and square. We know Mercedes Moné. We've seen some matches in
she's cheated and things of that nature. But
not just cheated. She'll take a DQ. She'll be like, hey,
but in this instance, right? It's just a title match for the AEW Women's Championship. Like the TBS Championship isn't up for grabs or whatever. So she can't win the title via DQ. Somebody would have to interfere. Somebody would have to knock out Chris Stat or whatever, or she would have to use one of those illegal objects or whatever the case is, which I wouldn't put it past her.
Yeah.
But my point being, she's got all these titles. She's not heavily focused on the AEW Women's Championship. I don't think she's gonna win. I think Chris Stat retains. And like I said, for me, I feel it's the best point to start to pivot, where she starts to lose all these championships in whatever order she wants at the end of the day, so that she can then, work herself back up to just focus on finally winning the AEW Women's Championship. Because that's the grand prize at the end of the day, right? Because she never got around to beating Toni Storm. You know what I'm saying? So in this instance, to me, it makes sense to have her story work that way.
Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll see next week. If so, I'm gonna make a special spotlight next week for J News in case he need to crash out. It's gonna be a safe room. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go to the back, and you know what time it is. It's time for J News to step up to the front. Because it's New Japan time, ladies and gentlemen. New Japan Final Homecoming was the first show we're gonna go over.
Yeah, Final Homecoming was 2 Saturdays ago. Wow. We had Oleg Boltin and Shomakato and Katsuya Matsumoto defeating Katsuya Murashima, Masatori Yasuda, and Zayn J. Team DK's Hartley Jackson, Koji Fujita, Robbie Eagles defeated Daiki Nagai, Gato, and Hiromu Takahashi of the Unaffiliated. Funky Carrots, Dragon Dia, and Ryusuke Taguchi along with Kushida and Yuki Yoshioka defeated El Desperado, Kukai, Tiger Mask, and Yamato. House of Torture members Dick Togo, Evil, Ren Narita, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Yujiro Takahashi defeated Master Wato, Shota Umino, Toru Yano Yo, and Yuya Uemura. Bullet Club War Dogs, Clark Connors, Oscar, and Yuto Ice, along with Shingo Takagi, defeated United Empire's Callum Newman, Great Khan, Jacob Austin Young, and Templario. Super Junior Tag Team final match. We had House of Torture members Doki and Sho, the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. They defeated the Bullet Club War Dog members of Robbie X and Taiji Ishimori. IWGP Global Heavyweight Title match, Yota Tsuji defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi. And for the IWGP World Heavyweight Title, we had Konosuke Takeshita defeat Hiroki Goto in his match to retain the IWGP World Heavyweight Title. That match versus Hiroki Goto was a banger. Yota Tsuji's match versus Hiroshi Tanahashi was a good passing of the torch moment there for Yota Tsuji, and they really kind of ruined the Super Junior Tag League final. But that is what that is. New Japan Road to Anjo, which happened on Saturday the 8th, if I'm not mistaken. Katsuya Murashima defeated Tatsuya Matsumoto, Masatori Yasuda, and Tai Chi defeated Shomakato and Zayn J. United Empire's Callum Newman, Great Khan, and Jacob Austin Young defeated Lola Bolton, Tiger Mask, and Tomoaki Hanma. Bullet Club War Dogs of Gato and Taiji Ishimori, along with Shingo Takagi, defeated House of Torture, Sadoki Sho, and Yujiro Takahashi. We then had Ryusuke Taguchi, Shota Umino, and Yuya Uemura defeat Daiki Nagai, Oscar, and Yota Tsuji. Sorry, Bishamon, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi, along with El Desperado, defeated TMDK's Harley Jackson, Ryohei Oiwa, and Zack Sabre Jr. For the Never Openweight Six-Man Tag Team Championships, Master Wato, Toru Yano, and Yo defeated House of Torture members Dick Togo, Evil, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And then to end the night, the main event was Hiroshi Tanahashi going one-on-one against Yuto Ice, as Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated Yuto Ice in Anjo. Superhuman Taiji Ishimori gets ridiculous one more time as he had another event to celebrate his many years in professional wrestling. This happened on the 12th. We had Taiji Ishimori defeating Daiki Nagai. Taiji Ishimori defeated Brahman Shu via DQ. Kagatora and Taiji Ishimori defeated Brahman Brothers, Brahman K and Brahman Shu via DQ. And then Ishimori and Taro Nohashi defeated Brahman Brothers of Brahman Kai and Brahman K, and Brahman Shu and Brahman Ryusuke via DQ. So this particular show wasn't as long as the previous show where Taiji Ishimori wrestled for damn near 2 hours. This show was barely a little bit over an hour for Taiji Ishimori to get through.
Yes. Hey, sorry, Frank. Thank you for coming. Yeah, I saw this and I was like, thank you, sir. You know, I thought you was gonna do it again. We're gonna go back to the way back because you already know what time is it. Preview time, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for you to get your previews. We're gonna start out with Progress. They do not have any matches listed as of right now, but we're gonna be watching Progress 186 Nosy Neighbors on the 16th. It should be on YouTube or Triller TV. It didn't tell me where exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, on to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Shimonoseki Impact. Umebiki Kensen? What the hell is that? Anyways, I never even heard of this.
Listen, so down. I was like, okay.
This I was not aware of this. I was prepping for Tag League this week. But anyways, this happened today. But this is the matches that went down today. Zayn J versus Tatsuya Matsumoto, Tiger Mask versus Masatori Yasuda, Togi Makabe and Toru Yano go up against Katsuya Murashima and Shomakato, Master Wato and Yo go up against Daiki Nagai and Gato, Shingo Takagi and Yota Tsuji go up against Oleg Bolton and Tomoaki Hanma, Bishamon members Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi along with Ryusuke Taguchi go up against the Knockout Brothers of Oscar and Yuto Ice along with Hiromu Takahashi, and El Desperado, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Shota Umino and Yuya Uemura go up against TMDK members Hartley Jackson, Koji Fujita, Ryohei Oiwa, and Zack Sabre Jr. Purge Night of Torture. Interesting nights here on the 19th, which is this coming Wednesday. Hip Togo along with Milano Collection AT. What? Versus Dick Togo with Sonata Collection SS. That makes a whole lot of sense. Whatever. Ikuto Hidaka, Masato Tanaka, and Tomohiro Ishii. Ishii will not be making it to this. Ishii separated his shoulder a couple of weeks ago, so he'll be replaced in this match. We'll go up against House of Tortures, Chase Owens, Don Fale, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Hanzo, the great Sasuke, the legend, will be going up against House of Torture members Dick Togo and Sho. And then in a non-title match, we're going to see Evil versus the dreaded Shun Skywalker.
Now, you don't like both of them. So this is a match I think you might just skip out of them. Okay.
I might just skip this altogether. Absolutely. But this seems like a Dick Togo special event.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go to MLW. It's with another company, but the other company can't be found. But I mean, not other company, but it's with a product. Cardi B said Don Julio do it every time, but no, MLW said Don Gato, Tequila, they'll do it every time. So MLW and Don Gato Tequila will have Lucha de los Muertos. This name. Tongue tied today. Listen, we have a pit fighter match where Killer Cross will face Matt Riddle. Shotzi Blackheart versus Priscilla Kelly. We have the Opera Cup 2025 final match. Mystico versus Valdero Jr. We have the MLW World Tag Team title match where the Skyscrapers of Bishop Dreyer and Donovan Dijak face the Good Brothers of Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. We have Don Gato Gauntlet Tag Team match where Atlantis and Atlantis Jr. will go against Felino and Negro Casas versus Los Divinos. This is J News right here.
Los Divinos Faluneros.
Yes. Blue Panther and Blue Panther Jr. and
Galeon Fantasma,
which is Barboza
and Difunto.
Yep. And for the last match of the night will be MLW World Heavyweight title bunkhouse match where Matt Kruger will go against Brock Anderson, who will be with his dad Arn. Okay. Now we're on to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
World Tag League begins this week on the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. The 20th. All right. Well, that's Thursday. So we have Monster Sauce, the return of Monster Sauce, Alex Zane and Lance Archer. Along with Zane, Jay will go up against House of Torture members Ren Narita, Sonata, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. United Empire's Callum Newman, Great O'Connor, and Jacob Boston Young will go up against Team DK members Hartley Jackson, DeRay, Hoyt Oiwa, and Zack Sabre Jr. El Phantasma will go, along with Hiroshi Tanahashi and Katsuya Murashima, will go up against Shomakato, Shota Umino, and Yuya Uemura. Knockout Brothers of Oscar and Yuto Ice, along with Daiki Nagai, will go up against Bullet Club War Dog members David Finley, Gato, and Hiromu Takahashi. Block A action for the tag league. It's going to be El Desperado and Shuji Ishikawa against Oleg Bolton and Toriano. House of Torture members Don Fale and Evil will go up against House of Torture members Chase Owens and Yujo Takahashi. We shall see if that goes down to a finger poke of doom spot. Satoshi Kojima, the Breadman, along with Tai Chi, will go up against Bishamon members Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. And then we have Drilla Maloney and Shingo Takagi going up against Gabe Kidd and Yota Tsuji.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Defy has a show on the 21st. But guess what? Defy said, I'm going to call my spot, and I ain't got a name for it. So they didn't give a name, ain't no matches. They just told me, hey, on 21st, we got a show. And I put it in and let you know. Wrestling Revolver has a show. It's called Wrestling Revolver and Arrival will have Wrestle Combat, okay? Wrestle Combat at this time doesn't have any matches listed. We're going to go on to HOG, House of Glory. That's also on the 21st, the combat show. That will be on Triller TV. That is listed. Also on Triller TV on the 21st will be House of Glory. And it will be the Windy City. Return to the Windy City. Okay? They do have two matches listed. Amazing Red versus Tyler Breeze. Can't wait for that. HOG women's title match is Indy Hartwell versus Shotzi Blackheart. On to AEW. AEW will be having Full Gear on the 22nd when your pay-per-view provider or however you do it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, these are the matches listed. We have $1 million 6-man tag match. Tony, stop with these doggone. Who is gonna win $1 million from this for real? I want to see him take out some money in a briefcase, $1 million, and hand it to them. Okay, I want him to hand it to them. Stop just labeling matches. This is crazy. Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson versus Jurassic Express and Kenny Omega. Jurassic Express is Jack Perry and Luchasaurus. For the AEW National Title Casino Gauntlet match, we have Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, Ricochet, and 3 other opponents. For the AEW TNT title no disqualification match, Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. For the AEW World Tag Team title match, Brandito and Brody King versus FTR, which is Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. For the AEW Women's World title match, which we talked about earlier, Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné. We have for the AEW World title match, Adam Page versus Samoa Joe.
They're also going to, just for folks to know, you'll have the women's tag team tournament finals at Full Gear. And as of yesterday on Collision, they've also added a match between Pac versus Darby Allin. So look forward to that.
And then you got all the pre-show matches.
Yeah. And they also got the pre-show matches as well, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, GCW, it is Dream On. Listen.
I don't know what the pre-show.
Yeah, they changed that. That's why I'll never put it on the previews, because you they'll put one match
versus RPG Vice as a match. They also have a $200,000 multi-tag team match, or whatever the case is. Like, I think it's like a 3-way tag team match where the winner comes away with $200,000 on the Brawl-In. But outside of that, I'm forgetting what else is happening.
Yeah. So on the Dream On is on the 22nd on Triller TV. We have Mikey Ito versus Zeta Steel. We have Rhino and Tommy Dreamer versus Beer Dozer of Beer Bronson and Matt Tremont. On to New Japan Pro Wrestling World Tag League.
Yeah, this is the show from the 22nd. Prelim tag matches. It's going to have Bishamon, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi go up along with Zayn J, go up against House of Torture members Chase Owens, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Yujiro Takahashi. Katsuyori Murashima, Oleg Bolton, and Toru Yano will go up against Masatori Yasuda, Satoshi Kojima, and Tai Chi. El Desperado, Shomakato, and Shuji Ishikawa will go up against Daiki Nagai, Drilla Maloney, and Shingo Takagi. Gabe Kidd, Gaeta Munyota Tsuji will go up against House of Torture members Dick Toko, Don Fale, and Evil. Block B action in the World Tag League. It's going to see Monster Sauce of Alex Zane, Zossos, Alex Zane, and Lance Archer go up against House of Torture members Ren Narita and Sonata. United Empire's Callum Newman and Great O'Khan will go up against TMDK's Ryohei Oiwa and Zack Sabre Jr. El Phantasmo and Hiroshi Tanahashi will go up against Shota Umino and Yuya Uemura. And then we're going to see David Finlay and Hiromu Takahashi go up against the Knockout Brothers of Oscar and Yuto Ice.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the spotlight. And my good brother Jay News, he is going to be called to the carpet. He'll be first. We put them side by side. Okay, Jay News, tell them about your spotlight.
I told Dolores yesterday that I wanted my spotlight to be the AEW women's roster, the women's division. Why did I mention this? For the simple fact that I feel like the AEW women's division is killing it right now. I think Blood and Guts showed the passion, the fervor, and the levels that they are willing to put themselves through in order to entertain the AEW fans. Right? I didn't want to single anybody. Hey, Alan, what's up, brother?
Hey, AEW.
I didn't want to single out any of the ladies specifically because I think right now all of the ladies who have currently been on TV, either be it on AEW's Dynamite, Collision, and or ROH TV, have been doing a really good job of not only having in-ring matches, but at the same time leveling up their characters as well, which is what a lot of AEW fans have been worrying about in recent times and in recent years. And I think that AEW has done a tremendous job over the last several months to thrust these ladies into the forefront and, just let them be themselves and get out there and put themselves out there and see if they can get over with whatever it is they feel is creatively feasible for them. And I feel like they've been able to do it, and they've been able to really capture the minds and the zeitgeist of the AEW fan base. So props to the AEW women's division. I think there's going to be even more talent added to the AEW women's division in the coming weeks and months as well. I think more on the developmental side of things, and maybe some established talent that isn't currently signed to any of the major TV wrestling companies and stuff like that. But I definitely wanted to give the AEW women's division a shout out for putting in the work and putting in the blood, sweat, and tears, as people like to say, and the hard work in order to get more TV time and take advantage of the opportunities that they've had on TV and knock it out of the ballpark, man. So shouts to the ladies. Congratulations to the ladies on everything that they've been doing and continue to do and will continue to do. And I think that the AEW women's division is positioned very well into the future.
Yes, they have like what most people don't know, because I had to go through the website to get the, figure out who, what, when, where, why. They have included the ROH women in the AEW women's division because they go back and forth. So that's why there are so many women. They include all of them in one place. I really was like, oh my God, J Deuce recognizes the women. Touched my soul. Then I was like, I gotta do some work now. But I really appreciate it. ALW said, I'm doing WWE with Evolution pay-per-view, and AEW Blood and Guts Women's Wrestling is getting a chance to show how good they are. Yeah. I enjoy Evolution. You're not doing that. Yeah, I remember you say you're not doing AEW again. But good job, J News. Now it's time for me to tell y'all about my spotlight, which happens to be a woman. The ace. Hey, Shayna Baszler. I love her. I love all the work she's put into. I'm glad to see her on the indies working, being herself. And if you haven't checked her out, please go check her out. And I just was like, I don't remember ever giving her props. And when I saw her and Maki Ito, which you all know, I love Maki Ito to the point, if you go back on Workhorse Wrestling Network, I dressed up last Halloween as Maki Ito, pizza cutter and all. So that tells you how much I love Maki Ito, but to see them wrestle each other, it was fun and funny and hilarious and great. And so I wanted to make, she's been doing like HOG, she did GCW Bloodsport and stuff. So, because I see, y'all like, who is she talking to? ALW asked me a question. So, J News, what did you think about Shayna Baszler? There you go, J News. J News froze? I think he froze. Oh, there you go. I was like, damn. Yeah, they did drop the ball on her. But I thought in April that they had signed her to like a backstage role or something. But she started doing the indies more often. So I was like, nah, that's not it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back over, because this is the end, my friend. Now it's time to go over to the main studio. And it's time for me to blow my good brother J News up. There you go. And I'm going to tell you what ChatGPT said for J News this week. Here we go. Let's go across the screen. It says, hey, yo, let me tell you something real quick, J News. Man, he the coldest doing it. Wrestling, sports, movies. Ain't nobody breaking it down like him. Straight facts, no fluff. He got that New York grind, that Brooklyn bite, and a brain sharper than clippers at a barbershop. And let me say it out loud for the folks in the back. Savannah, he a good man. You heard me? Real one, certified. He don't miss. J Dude stay 10 toes down, and that's on everything. So if you ain't rocking with him, you sleep.
May I just say, a lot of the time, I don't have issue with what ChatGPT has got to say about me. But if you know anything about people from New York City, they'll let you know where they're from and where they're not from. ChatGPT, you made a mistake. You made a mistake. Saying that I'm something in comparison to Brooklyn Sharp, I don't know what that was.
They say you were Brooklyn Sharp, like Clippers at a barbershop.
Clippers in the barbershop are sharp everywhere. Shout out to the swagged out shop down in the ATL. Killer Mike and them. They did my homie a favor while he was out there, and they blessed him, to say the least. But yeah, I'm not synonymous with Brooklyn. That's all it is, right? No slight, because I got friends in Brooklyn. At the end of the day, no slight. I'm just not from it. So me and Brooklyn don't go hand in hand. That's all that is. No hate at all. No slights to Brooklyn. I'm just not from there. So
next time I'm gonna tell them no Brooklyn, no Brooklyn. You can do anything.
That is what it is at the end of the day. But the rest of it was funny as usual. As always, folks, thank you for watching the Hit the Roast podcast here with me and Delores. We will be back next Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here talking about the week that was in professional wrestling. Check out my Letterboxd page. You can search me under the members tab, John LYFNMG. You can read my reviews of all my movies up to date. I had a very busy week at the movie theaters this week. I decided to do double features Monday through Thursday and did not know how tiring that would be. But I did write reviews for every single one of the movies that I watched. The last movie that I actually saw and wrote a review for was the new Running Man movie that premiered on Thursday night. So you can read my review on the Letterboxd app there. I'll be back in the movie theaters tomorrow, so I'll be going through another whole week of written reviews on Letterboxd there. So stay tuned and check me out there. Check me out on True Heel Heat. I should be on there this week as we preview World Tag League and things of that nature. That's probably going to be tomorrow or Tuesday because World Tag League starts on the 20th. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, check me out on the Twitter machine at John LYFNMG as well. And yeah, we'll be back next week, folks. That's it for me today.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want day news to go back. Like Jesus. Y'all don't want me up here? Y'all don't want me up here? I probably because I gotta put my face up there. Common sense ain't common to everybody. Sometimes sometimes your girl is a little, your girl a little slow. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna now do me, okay? As we all know, because I'm already tech and I put the tech side on J News, I am very much a rap or music girl. These are my lyrics. Let me turn on. If y'all don't know, I love the teleprompter feature on StreamYard. I ain't got to worry. My song is by Cardi B, Safe. I know y'all tired of me in this Cardi B, but I'm a ram it balls down your throat. It says, I know you, that I'm the itch, right? You got a girl that men want to get right. When I spaz and I crash, you ain't gonna dip, right? That's when I need you the most. That's how I get right. Okay? Those are the lyrics to that song. I really love that song. Her and Kehlani. That's Ashley's Cardi B and Kehlani. But I really love that song. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Delores. I'm just a pink girl in my pink world. Here on all your social platforms. Here, there, everywhere right now. We're supposed to be doing dual live. But again, J News, it did not want to do it for us, okay? So it gave me some stuff to do. StreamYard, I wrote y'all, and I'm appreciative y'all wrote me back quick enough. But for those who don't know, I'm Delores. I come to shout out some people who support the channel. Shout out some folks that have run through here, have been great to us. If you're in my YouTube and you see the links dropping, please click on these people. These people are really good people. Please check them out. I'm going to have some more people coming up to shout out, but these are the people that I have that I consistently shout out. Hey, if you're a woman and you want to just lay down your burdens and get a conversation, a couple of laughs, talk to some other women, join us at the Women's Closet every Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can get into the closet by going on theeducatednatural.com/woman and filling out the form. Very easy. She'll give you the link. It's great. Also, if you need some business help, if you need to learn some things, a consultation, get your website built, theeducatednatural.com is the place to be. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to Miss Joy. She should be coming back sometime this week. She was in the hospital. Thank God she is out and well and doing better. Miss Joy is live every Monday and Thursday, live at 6:05 PST, 9:05 EST. On Monday, she does crafting. On Thursday, she does prayer. So please, if you want a prayer, make sure we'll put you on the list. Also, she's still doing the community blanket. So check it in. I know y'all hear me say every week I'm going to update. I have the updated thing. I just ain't put it in. So you can send it to that address. You can email, ask her about it. These are the things right here. If you have other services you want to do, like I make a cup or I make this, I make that, definitely send it in. We can auction it off. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Shirley OG Gardner every Thursday, live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talks over everything you need to know. We just did last Thursday was hydroponics. I have one. Luckily, I was talking to getting one. I'm going to do a little gardening outside. Me and my nephew, we said we're going to do a little gardening. Okay? So pray for you, girl, because I don't do outside and bugs. But you'll learn a lot every Thursday with Miss Shirley OG Gardner. ALW, who came in here today, listen, we always talk about the Workhorse Wrestling Network. I'm the manager over there. Like I told you, it's the parents of ALW and CM, and then you got the kids of Anika and Sammy. I'm more like Angelica. I just got to watch the craziness, okay? So make sure you go on over and check. They are live every Tuesday at 10:30, every Friday at 8 p.m., and 10 a.m. on Saturdays, and then they do AEW content. I do WWE. So sometimes you'll see the kids come over here and join me, and sometimes I'll pop over there for some things, but make sure you scan that QR code and gallop on over there to the Workhorse Wrestling Network. Somebody who supports the channel, Jaleel757, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you scan the QR code and go to all his social media. He is a great gamer and fun to learn from. Listen, I keep telling Jaleel I'm going to get back gaming online. Been busy, okay? I might incorporate that coming up because I got an announcement for you all. Also, Slim. This is Slim's personal social media where you can catch on his channels and different things. But if you don't know, Slim is a great comic book creator. And as a Black comic book creator, we rarely get the support we're supposed to get. So here's the QR code to go buy. He not only has comic books, he has published books. So please go check out Slim Jim Longfoot. Ladies and gentlemen, upcoming on the channel, we have Survivor Series on the 29th. War Games. I ain't even got the voice to do it yet. But then we also have John Cena's last match on Saturday night's main event. We have NXT Deadline watch along too. Already scheduled. Just make sure you hit the notification so you can be able to know. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement. I hear Christmas calling. I hear the bells chinging. And you know what time it is. It's time for me to do too much, okay? Because when it's time for me to do too much, every day on the channel, something will be coming out in December, okay? So Mondays are now slotted as Canva Christmas. We'll be having trivia and posts, trivia and jokes come out on the post section. We'll have something that comes out on the shorts. I just lost my memory then. I will be doing Delores Loves Art Christmas edition again. And we'll have conversations with Delores where I bring up topics in a video and questions and even things we could do heading towards Christmas. They might be a little bit more like in-depth, maybe mindful, so we can make Christmas so fun. So if you all haven't noticed, the first episode for December the 1st is up. So it'll come out at 12 noon. You take your lunch break, you can watch me talk about on December the 1st, wrapping it like Delores, where I'll show you how to do Christmas tags and wrapping paper for your family and friends. The other videos will come out after that. We'll be talking about making mugs and Christmas cards, doing wall art and mini calendars. I'll be showing you how to make t-shirts and totes. And for New Year's, after Christmas, we'll be designing a New Year's bash, okay? So we'll be doing menus, party games, affirmations for the year. Those will be the things that we'll do in there. Now, once we get this thing hooked up, you all will notice, you'll see this. That means it'll be in the phone style. It did not happen today because it's got to be some more steps I got to add on to it. But once you get it up, we'll be vertically live. When you come in to get the vertical side, you will have to click on this live with this picture on it, okay? Also, if you're on another platform, you probably already see us vertically. But for those who do not know, I am Delores from Delores Designs. And this is how you can get in touch with me. If you want a graphic, if you want a one-on-one teaching, if you want anything, make sure you hit me up. For those who don't know, I say it all the time, that is not my phone number, okay? It's not my personal phone number. Don't worry, I'm safe. If you don't see the QR code, I got a bigger one for you. I got a bigger one. It's the biggest, the largest, okay? So, let me get my good brother J News back up here. Yes, because we're a tag team, okay? A tag team. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what time it is, I know J News know what time it is. J News, do you happen to know what time is it?
Specifically?
No. J News, y'all notice he does it every week. Every week he's like, no. Jaleel normally answers it for me because J News never, he be lost in the sauce. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to act the fool because it's time to go, okay? It is time to go. Ladies and gentlemen, me and J News, just like we do every week, every single week, whooping feet at 1 o'clock. You know what? We setting this thing ablaze, okay? It's on fire. But baby boy, baby girl, man, woman, child, them, they, it, whatever you want to be, ladies and gentlemen, please, please keep your clothes on. I can't be seeing all that, okay? But I got something that'll help you. And that's if I cut the lights off. Cut off the lights. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, this is the first and the last week we'll have this up in the corner for lung cancer awareness. So shout out to all the survivors out there. I know those who are fighting it. Know that we are here to support you. Next week, I think it will be, I have it set up for diabetes week. So, if you all don't know, I'm a diabetic. I'm about to eat some sweet. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here. But me and J News, we appreciate you. And we want to say, peace.